Right,
So
right,
so
right.
so verses 28 through 30, right? Talk about and we know that all things work together for good for those who love God and to those who are called according to his purpose. For whom he foreknew, he also predestined to be confirmed to the image of his son, that he might be the firstborn among many brethren. Moreover, whom he predestines, those he called, whom he called, those these he also justified, whom he justified, he also glorified. So he calls us, and when he calls us, he gives us the Spirit. And then it took me to 1 Corinthians 12, right? And so in 1 Corinthians 12, verses uh, 4 through 11, it talks about the body of Christ and everything. So it says there are diversities of gifts, but the same Spirit. There are differences of ministries, but the same Lord. And there are diversities of activities, but in the same God who works through all. But if you go through the other spirits, it talks about the spirit of wisdom, the spirit uh, of healing, the spirit of working miracles, and the spirit of gift tongues, you know what I mean? So we're all given different spirits, right? And so we need to nurse that spirit, and it gives us also where it took me to Corinthians 13, where it talks about love. And if we don't do this with love, which is the spirit of God, God is love, right? And if God's love is in you, you have all forgiveness and all that, right? And so in the greatest commandments, right, is that to love our neighbors as we love ourselves, to love and worship God with all our might and all our soul, right? And so
Yep.
John 3:16 talks about that God so loved the world that he sacrificed his only son so none should perish, right? And I know that I'm paraphrasing that, but then it took me to Hebrews 13, and this is the last of it right here. Hebrews 13 talks about Hebrews 13 talks about 1 through 3. So let brotherly love continue. Do not forget to entertain strangers, for by doing so, some unwillingly to entertain angels. Remember the prisoners as if chained with them, those who are mistreated, since you yourselves are in body also. Marriage is honorable among all, and bed undefiled for naked. Fornicators and adulterers God will judge. You know what I mean? But more than anything, that he says to welcome strangers, to remember those who are in prison as if you're there, and those who are suffering. And obedience, right, is obedience more than anything. It talks about obey those who rule over you and be submissive, for they watch out for your souls as those who must give account. Let them do so with joy and not with grief, for that would be unprofitable. And so that told me that I need to be obedient to our pastors. That means I need to be obedient to the people that are leadership in our church, because when they see us suffering, it hurts them, right? And then the last part of it, right, is be of service and pray for our pastors, you know what I mean? And that we're not to forget. And if you've got any bitterness or anger or any sin, place it before God, confess it, but so you don't let the enemy in, and that's in Ephesians. You know what I mean? Don't let the enemy have a foothold.
That's just so big, because when people got that unforgiveness going on, man,
Right.